Plastic Model Builders. How are you doing today on this Saturday afternoon? We hope you are doing good. We are doing another box break. That's right, we open up the box and we show you what's inside. This is not a new model, this is one I bought used. I got it for $70 at the hobby store that is now closed. It is the B-1B Lancer. This looks like a very big plane. Let's tell you a little bit about it. It's got a length of 36 inches, so it's 3 feet long. Okay, so we just built a plane that is also 3 feet long. Where are we going to put this 3 foot long plane? I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's got a wingspan of 33 inches. So that's kind of interesting. The plane is longer than the wingspan. Let's see, 238 pieces. Last plane was 105. So quite a bit more, and they are definitely all in this box. I counted them once before, so we will show you that. It's molded in light gray. Of course, it's going to get painted. And the decals, they are silk screen water slide. I don't know if there's a difference between that and printed, but hey, I guess there is, otherwise they wouldn't put it on there. A little bit about this plane. The B-1B Lancer is the largest free world aircraft yet built to use a variable geometry or movable wing, which is designed to provide maximum aircraft performance. With the wings fully swept forward, wingspan measures 136 feet 8.5 inches. Sweeping the wings back allows the bomber to streak through the skies at 1,450 miles per hour. I don't know what that is in kilometers, but it is Mach 1.4. And this is to deliver up to 115,000 pounds of bombs, 32 AGM-69 SRAM missiles, or 32 of the new AGM-86B cruise missiles. With the retirement of the EF-111 Raven in 1998, the F-14 Tomcat in 2006, the B-1B is the last variable winged aircraft remaining in the U.S. military inventory. New technology has given the B-1B a radar profile only 1/100th that of the larger B-52, allowing it to sneak under enemy radar beams. Well, that's pretty cool. Hugging the ground under the control of an automatic terrain avoidance guidance system. Wish I had one of those. The B-1B is well designed for survivability and operational efficiency. It can withstand the effects of a nearby nuclear blast and take off quickly, even if under attack. Well, that's very good to know if I'm ever under attack and I have access to a B-1B Lancer. It has a detailed cockpit, main landing gear, and nose radar, plus movable swing wings and tail planes. Well, looks pretty interesting. Let's see what we got on the sides of the boxes. Nothing here, just the plane as it is. Right here we got a few things. Shows the wheel wells, how big they are. Right here, picture of, without the nose. Looks like the inside. And some bombing doors. Turn it on here. Got another bit of the plane. And on this side, shows a little bit of detail of the front and the wheel wells again. So this is the plane, done by Revell, 1/48 scale, my favorite. Let's see what's inside. Alright, we've got the instructions. See how many pages this is. It has 16 pages of this, 21 steps. We'll set this to the side right here. So we've got the way these parts trees are designed. They are basically assigned letters. And within those letters, they have a number of parts. So in the instructions, it will tell you, looking at parts tree G, you will go to look for this part in there. So it looks like we have the main fuselage body right here on this. Looks like some flaps in here and something to do with the engines on the inside. Let's see here. That's exactly, and as well landing gear doors. We'll put that down over here. This looks like bomb wells, probably the insides of those. Some stuff for the cockpits maybe. Definitely missiles, wheels, and that sort of stuff. Don't want to lose these. Not sure which parts tree this one is either, but I know they're all numbered, so I'll just pull one of these out and we'll show you exactly what we're talking about. We got the tail assembly right here. So if I was to look on one of these, like right here, this says this is sprue B. Whether or not all of this is sprue, I don't know. But we also have the engines in there. Be careful, some of the parts are rather loose. You don't want to lose these. Definitely the cockpit is in here as well, so you want to be careful with that. Next, we have more of the engines and the wings. They are all in here. Looks rather big. Hopefully we can get this plane assembled. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. We'll see, right? So right here, whether or not I did this, I don't know, but these are in a plastic bag because these are loose parts and we didn't want to lose them. So looks like we got some nose cone gear and some other things. I'm not exactly sure what they all are, so we'll check that out later. As well, we have molded in black right here are the wheels. Not that it really matters because we're probably going to paint over those anyway. We'll see how it turns out. Have your canopy and windshields right here. They are tinted, so be careful. We don't want to get any paint on those. So that's going to be a trick, having to install this ahead of time. And then last but not least, our decals. Looks like a total of 30 on the numbers. It got a little crease in here, so not a big deal. Doesn't look like too many of these. Going to be fairly easy to do. The hardest part will probably be these long ones right here because they are striped. We'll show you that in detail. As you know, striped pieces, they tend to break, so you have to be real careful with them. Well, this tends to be the box for this, so let's take a look at the instructions. As I said earlier, we've got 16 pages and 21 steps as indicated right here. As well, tells you a little bit more about the plane and has our paint colors, which are gunship gray, dark gray, steel, gloss white, zinc chromate, which we know goes in a lot of airplanes, flat light gray, red, flat black, gold, green, and silver. So let's open this up to page number 2, since that was page 1. Okay, so page 2 has basically an example right here in this corner, this whole top section, which tells you how to look for parts. It'll say, hey, sprue C, part number 129, something like that. It's all labeled all right here. As you see, C129. So that's all you have to do. Says at the bottom right here is the cockpit assembly. So that's always the main thing because you always have to make the cockpit first because it always goes inside of the plane and you always cram it together inside the fuselage as always. So the remainder of part 1 is on page 3. Tells you how many seats to do. Looks like there's 2 times for one particular seat, 2 times on another seat, and they all go inside of the cockpit. Why they have 2 different versions, I'm not exactly sure. I guess that's just all part of the steps. So as well has a completed nose gear bay. Rather long, all right over here. Let's turn to page 4. And we got right here steps 2 and 3. It's the front fuselage, so you'll see that assembly. Looks like you need some nose weight. As you know, I did a plane with wax in a nose weight. Didn't work out very well. This tells you to use 50 grams or 1.8 ounces. And it goes right in the back of this aircraft, right back there. So make sure you get some of that. If you don't get any nose weight, you're going to be up a creek because the plane's probably going to shift backwards. So once you assemble that, you can put the windows in. Unfortunately, that's the only way to do this plane, I believe, because they go on the inside, so you're going to have to make sure they're in really well, especially when you mask it off. You can do the radar and the ladder assembly as well. It all depends on how you want to make this aircraft look. Those go light gray and white on the inside door, so a little bit tedious paint. Page 5, step 4, has the nose strut assembly, very basic, has your landing gear and your wheels. And the lights as well. So you can probably put those in dead last, that way you don't mess anything up when you're building this plane. Page 6 has steps 5 and step 6 all right here. And then page 7 over here has steps 7 and 8. So step 5 is the nose door assembly, and as well the spindle and SRAM assembly. So that means these bombs, when they come out, they just slowly fall and turn and fall and turn. So I'm going to have to do a bunch of those to make this plane look really cool. I think I will make this with the doors open, just spend a lot of time doing bombs and missiles. So we have the bay assembly, which were on some of the parts I showed you. I thought maybe those were the landing gear, but obviously not. Those are the bays. So this is what the completed assembly will look like over on this page, which is step 7. Now, step 8 is the main gear assembly. You ever see these planes? The gear is actually very large, as big as a garage, depending on how big you want to look at it. The wheels are just gigantic. Page 8, we have step 9 right here, which is the fuel tank and the main bay. And then we have page 10, step 10, which is the wing assembly. As you know, it's 2 wings. So over here, on this side, page 9, you have step 11 and 12, which is the wing assembly and the main fuselage. I've seen people make these planes so you can remove the wings, but obviously if you can remove them, that means they can get lost. So just choose whatever you want to do, choose wisely. We also have, right here, step 12, which is the nacelle assembly. I don't know if I pronounced that right or not. I'm English, but it is what it is. So as you can see, you're going to have to do that 2 times. Turn to page 10. And this is step 13 and 14 right here. We have the exhaust assemblies. We're going to be careful how we paint those. Looks like a little bit tedious. All those just kind of are going to fit right inside of everything. And then you also have right here the outside doors of those, the gear doors. So make sure those go in. Here you have step 14, which is the right main strut assembly. So obviously right and left. Over here, continued onto page 11, step 14 is the continuation of the right strut assembly. Goes more of it right over here. Struts are rather huge apparently, and they have 8 wheels and then assembled 4 times with the wheel hubs. So pay attention to how those are done. Looks like these wheels will actually spin. So just be careful when you do that. That'll be a neat little thing. Maybe put a little bit of oil in there and you can roll the plane back and forth. Page 12, step 15, left main gear assembly. Probably almost identical to the right gear assembly. So you're going to have that over here, and then on page 13, which is step 16, is putting the gear inside of their wheel wells. Step 7 right here, the weapon bay doors. Those go white on the inside only, meaning the outside goes not white, which will be probably gunmetal, which is the rest of the plane. We will turn to page 13. I'm sorry, that was page 13. Page 14, we have steps 18 and 19, which are the bay doors to the fuselage assembly. See how those go? And those are, let's see here, does it have a color listed? No, it does not. I'm willing to bet they go white like everything else. So here you have the rear fuselage assembly and as well the rear tail fins. And page 15 shows the final assembly of this plane getting together in its 3 halves that you have. Looks fairly simple. Looks like there are not panel lines to go all the way down the middle on most of this, which is a plus. We don't like those panel lines. Or I shouldn't say panel lines, I should say seams. So they're not there. And let's see, we have right here, the rest of the windshield goes in last. So hopefully that works out well. It says do not glue the wings. That's because you want them to move. So right here, page 16 is of course step 21, which is the final paint scheme. You can do 2 versions of this, the bombers from Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota and the combat wing in Texas. It's got 4 paints: gunship gray, steel, dark gray, and glossy white. Why they put the Y at the end of glossy white? I don't know, maybe it's more special than gloss white. But fairly simple on the outside, should look really nice when it's done. This is it. The dark gray is clearly the front of the nose cone. The rest of the plane is gray, so you may want to just paint that dead last. And that's it. This is the airplane, the B-1B 148 scale Lancer by Revell. Hard to find. I got mine used. You can probably find them on the auction sites. We look forward to seeing you on the next video, which of course probably be me washing these parts. How I'm going to fit them in the sink, I don't know. They're fairly big. It looks like I won't have any trouble though. They should fit in fairly well. Might have to wash them all separately. So come back in 2 weeks in the afternoon for that next video. Don't forget to subscribe. That way you get the latest video. Give us comments and likes, and we will see you on the next one. See ya.